Welcome to More Than Mindset, the only podcast that bridges the gap between spirituality and success. Go beyond the mind with clarity and confidence coach Kim Guillory and learn how to integrate your passion to serve with your skills and experience to create a business you love. Let's get started. Hello, and welcome to More Than Mindset. I am recording to the podcast and also to YouTube Live, and I'm interviewing Brittany, who is a client of mine. She's a massage therapist. She's kind of all in. She's done all the things. And so I asked her to come on and share her experience of your last year. Where are you now? Where were you? What's been the biggest transformation? What has changed the most in your life? And imagine you're speaking to other massage therapists who are where you were.
Man, the most impactful, honestly, was just sticking it out and doing all the things that surfaced in the moment. So, but I'm always an in live person. So it definitely started for me, like going to the events, the retreats with you. And so it kind of got me to see like the fun side of things, because not everything, I was super serious. Like I was super serious, everything. I couldn't wait to find the next thing to heal, find the next problem to solve, the next whatever, if it was my problem or someone else's. And then I got to start realizing that it's not all about that. Like I need to stop and breathe and realize that there's some things in me. So what really stepped it up for me was that intensive, that 10-week intensive that I did with you. Cause I mean, I was lost. Like I was all over the place. Like I felt like, again, still trying to pick the next problem but multiple problems at one time. And so when I finally slowed down and took one thing and dissected it, wow, like the urgency was like practically depleted. Like I don't feel like there was something to prove. I feel like there was nothing that I needed, nothing more to say. Like it was just kind of like, huh. So like now I'm able to respond in the moment, like responding to this, responding to what life has. I'm not like antsy to fix what I need to of how to handle that situation. Like I'm just like, whatever comes up, we'll just handle it when it gets here. Like, and it's working phenomenally. Like it's way more easy.
So we're going to cover a little bit of backstory just so you guys know where Brittany's coming from. So she is a massage therapist. She's local to me. She's about an hour and a half away in Jennings, Louisiana. And, part of my mission is to elevate the massage therapy industry. Like I believe that we have so much to offer, but we don't have the previous training, like of what else could we do besides just trading dollar for hour massages. And also, once you've been in the industry for a while, stepping into leadership, stepping into maybe bringing in other dynamics of the business that you hadn't even thought of before. And that's what you were attracted to. So whenever we first met and you were feeling a little like you were looking for something, what was your experience then as a massage therapist? What did your life and your business look like at that point?
Well, I was winging it every day, every client, every week. I knew the clients would show up because we're in a small town, people word of mouth, but that's all I was depending on. I was scared to post online because I didn't want to get overwhelmed. Because I would just take everybody in. And because of course you're told that it comes in waves, there's no consistency. So you have to take everything while you can because you're gonna have a dry spell. And so I lived, I guess, in scarcity. Practically every day, every week, just kind of winging it of how they were going to get there. I had no clue. I didn't even know how much I needed to make or what I should be making. I don't know. I never had no guidance on anything. I was literally just massaging because I liked it and I loved it.
Yeah, let's just see how much money I can make doing massage and not having, and I don't mean a plan by a rigid plan, but even an idea of what you were working towards. I remember asking you for the first time, how much money did you make and how much do you need to make? And you were like, what?
Had no clue. Had no clue. I didn't even know how much my bills were in total for the month. I just knew I need to make this much in my account for this day. That's all I knew. And I've been living like that. I've been massaging on my own for 4 years, but even before that, working, I just knew how much I needed for each individual thing on those days, and that was it.
So your faith was your faith was strong in, I'm going to make ends meet,
Mhm.
but you're basically in that survival mode.
I never was able to get ahead is what my like gut feeling was, is I'm never going to get ahead. I'm never going to be able to save. I'm never going to be able to do all this fun stuff while running a business and still be able to just have play money. Like I call it play money, like going with my kids or vacations. Like I didn't have anything extra. I was just kind of hoping I'd have extra.
So in the massage therapy industry, I think this is the norm. Would you say, like when you talk to other massage therapists, they're just like, oh, it's a slow time, or it's like,
Mhm.
I believe that massage therapy business can be predictable, consistent, and sustainable.
Mhm.
If you know what you're looking for, what to do, how to set it up, how to like work through all these limiting beliefs, because it is true. That is what we were taught in school and in our training is like you're basically hunkering down before the slow season or before the slow week, or you got to, make ends meet. So you work in the middle of the night or on the weekend or wherever you can get them in at, which is basically you are your business's bitch. That's what I used to call it. It was like the business owned to me until I actually learned that I'm in control of my experience. I'm in control of my resources, my money, my clients, and I own the business. I control the business. And that was a huge turnaround for me. And it was the same thing when I was a cosmetologist, my tanning salon, the fitness studio. It was the same thing. I heard the same stories over and over and over. And I was like, actually, if they had the roadmap and the understanding and could see the potential, and have the path to get there, I know massage therapists could make $5,000 to $6,000 a month sustainably and still have time for their kids, for their family, for their loved ones, and not be working dollar for hour. And so I'll just ask you, did I prove that to you? And did you prove that to yourself?
Oh my gosh, 100,000 times over. Because I did not see that possible. And I didn't think it was not possible because you were saying it. I'm like, okay, I've done a couple things with her. Like, let me just go all in and give it a try. Wow. I mean, I have been consistent for what, 3, 4 months now when I was just winging it still, at the beginning of like the year, to where now I'm like, I'm booked up for the month, where I never even thought that was possible. Um, I I don't know. It's just such a relief because like I felt like it was constantly just battling, trying to keep it consistent because you wanted to look consistent online. You wanted to look like you had it together. And when you talk to people, but in reality, I was like, crap, am I ever gonna make this? Like, and it was starting to wear on me. I'm like, I was even thinking of maybe another job or adding something else just to have conversations, to spark up massage again, or just to kind of take a break from it. But I mean, I've been able to be consistent and it doesn't feel like a bunch of work anymore. It
Mm.
really has just become something that is just natural. I look at my books, I know my hours, I know when it needs to be. I know how many I need for the week. I count them out. All right, I need to fill this spot. Boop, fill it, done. It's simple.
And what you're saying is before, it was like kind of just like play money. I'm going to make it. I'm not sure how, I'm not sure when, I'm not in control. And then on the other side is I can't book in advance. I'm going to lose my freedom. I'm going to miss out on something. And so you had this dissonance going. We call this cognitive dissonance, where you have conflicting beliefs and you were believing both. I remember that specifically for you. So whenever you first saw, like your first month that you were like, wow, this is possible. Did it motivate or re-inspire you to like fall in love with massage again and get creative? And how was that experience for you?
It was so liberating because at the time, I was out on my own. So I had to make it happen. I knew I had to make more because it's still subconsciously, I was been a single mom for a long time and I just knew single mom struggle. And I didn't want to be that no more. And I was like, okay, if she can show me, like, because everything kind of fell into place where I landed where I was at. And I'm like, if she can show me this, like, this would be everything. And I remember like when I looked at that and I looked back and it was like 2 months, I'm like, oh my gosh. Like it was like almost so emotional. Like each time I would look at the numbers, I'm like, how is this possible? And it was just so relieving that I can do this, not just for myself, but show my kids you don't have to struggle. There is this possibility. Like I am a single mom on my own, and I'm making it to where we can still do the other things, like, and still have time. I pick up my kids from school. I drop them off every single morning, and I'm there at every game on the Saturday.
Mm.
I'm like, that's big.
And so this is for all you massage therapists who are listening. It is possible, because where are you going to go to work here in Louisiana, make $5,000 a month, love what you do, and be off for all the activities that you want to do with your kids? That's why most got into massage therapy, was to have the time and financial freedom and to do what they love to do, right? But the business training was lacking, or
And
the
the business was
understanding.
controlling me.
Was that?
The business was definitely controlling me. Like, I was going in whatever direction is what they needed. I was meeting everybody else's needs, and then I was just doing it, versus where now, like, here are my hours and people are making it happen to either be there or they can't. And I'm okay with that. And I didn't know that that was a thing. Like, I was told, you're going to have to work the weekends. You're going to have to work the after hours. You're going to have to, but I'm like, I want to be with my kids. So why am I giving this up? Why would I go to school for something that was going to give me freedom, but now I still have less freedom than before?
Right.
I didn't understand
Or
that.
just believe in yourself and your business and just go and make it happen, right? Yeah. So we're just talking about the journey of you coming in. So we met at a continuing education for massage therapists, and you said, I've been looking for, I think it was like mentoring, or to what you're talking about, I've been looking
Whatever
for.
you're saying, I need more.
Yeah. And so you came into Self-Healing Masters. That was the beginning of your journey. Self-Healing Masters is a coaching container for individuals who want to, like, personally, whether it's a healing focused entrepreneur or just an individual who wants to understand mindset and emotional processing and stability and regulation and how to get along better with yourself and others. So that is where you started. And I remember you saying, like, I'm coming. I don't know where I'm going to get the money. I don't know how I'm going to do it, because your money was very unstable at that time. You remember? Yeah. You weren't sure where you were going to get it, but you knew you had to be there. And so then coming in through Self-Healing Masters, and then you were like, you came to a live retreat. You came to an event.
The next year, it was a year I had been in Self-Healing Masters that I came to the Self-Healing Masters retreat.
Do you even remember yourself back then when you were like trying to figure out how you were going to get the money to do these things?
Every once in a while, I'll like make myself go back just because it's kind of fun to go, it's not even a thing anymore. But I look back and I'm like, I was like struggling. I'm like, how do these people just keep paying for all these things? And just like, this is just going to keep belling in. I'm gonna have to keep going into more trips. And I felt so overwhelmed. Like, I was like, where am I going to keep pulling this money from? Like, it's not going to just fall out the trees. It's like, I was just overwhelming. Like, I was trying to balance like home life, work life, my self-improvement, parenting, being a daughter, like all these things that were just seemed so challenging. And I was putting it all on one big plate, or actually a small plate. And it was just a big ball of mess. Like, I just felt like I was just trying to fix so many problems at once. But I did indulge in everything that you had in the container. Because I was like, I need to drown out all these noises. Like, I'm tired of hearing all this noise because it's not working. It's stressing me. I lived with headaches, neck, shoulder tension. I'm like, oh no, like, what is this?
Can we talk about that for the person who's listening to this, who is a massage therapist and their income is not predictable and it's not consistent? They need the resources to get the personal development, because that's what you did. You were like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I need your help. I got to figure out how to pay for this, because I don't want to be stuck anymore. And everywhere as I look, it's people telling me that I have to stay stuck and I have to struggle and it's never going to work. And right. So it's like, so there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people who are in this same exact position. They love massage. They know that that they could do more with it, but they haven't figured out how yet. But they need the resources, but they're penny pitching. And so they're afraid to spend, they're afraid to invest, which is where you were. You were afraid to invest in Self-Healing Masters and that retreat. It's like, oh my God, how am I going to get there? What am I going to do? And that's the process that everyone has to go through. I mean, I've gotten massage therapists to come in to offer service at retreats just to get them in the room until they could afford to be there. So what would you say to the person who's in the position that you are in? They know there's potential. They see you doing it. They're inspired by you, but they're like, no, Brittany, you don't understand. I really don't have the money. Like, because that's what they're thinking, right? This was you. By the way, Brittany's a 6'2" in human design. She's a 6'2" generator. So it's really fun to play with her and all of her experimenting.
Man, I would totally, it's hard to say, because like, I just kind of was like, having faith, because like I have a sacral. So like I was like all in. I'm like, yes, but I got to figure out how I'm gonna get this. And it just so happened income tax, I think, was there. So I was like, normally I use this to pay this off, but I'll just pay for this all out front. And um, because it's like what the value I got back. Like not only did I just get personal development, like, for myself at home, but I became a better therapist because I no longer was trying to dump my stuff on them. Even though like I wasn't saying it and I didn't have to, they felt it. So
Mhm.
I was attracting that kind of client that was always got a problem, always something to fix, and always. So it's like now, like going through all the trainings and going through and giving myself this time, because it takes time. This doesn't happen over one, session. So it's like giving myself this time has allowed me to integrate it inside of me to where I'm like, oh, so now when people come, they're calmer, they're stiller, they're like pouring out, but then they get quiet because I'm in tune with them where it's so much different. And so it gives them so much more value. So they are throwing money now. They're just like, here's my money because, and so now I've learned, oh, I put into myself, I'm going to get it back. People are going to see the value. They're going to be like, this is something different. This is because, a lot of massage therapists, and I can speak for myself, we were all there to do the thing. And it's like now I'm not looking for the answer. I'm allowing the answer to just come. So it's like effortlessly with me putting the money in, I have made my money back plus just in this year. And so 100%, I wish I could look back and see myself now and be like, yeah, okay, it's possible, but I didn't have that. So I literally just went on, I've got to make a difference. I want to be a difference. So how can I further this for myself and my clients and still feel sane, like I love my job? And that's what I got first.
Was you had to come to that confidence and that faith and surety in yourself. And you were determined, like, I'm going to invest this and get it back. So that's huge. I love to say, whatever I invest, I multiply. Whatever I invest in myself, I multiply. And it's the one thing no one can take away. You can lose material items that you purchase, but you will never lose improving your mind, your understanding, emotional maturity. You'll never lose that. You'll never lose growing your brain. So whenever you came through Self-Healing Masters, you came to eSchool, and then you did the intensive. And in during the intensive, you also did the signature massage training. So I just want to get feedback from you about, like, what did you get from each of those? What did you get from Self-Healing Masters?
Self-Healing Masters definitely helped me first off with having a container, like constantly having something positive to listen to and something like new to feed my brain of like possibilities. I mean, you have like just so many different areas of health, wealth, and relationships. Because at the time my relationships were struggling and I was trying to be a better mom. So that helped me be just a better mom at home rather than me trying to go to work to run away from it. So I was able to enjoy being home, being with, my people and all that stuff, and help me accept myself. I felt like I was too much. I was all over the place. But like now I'm able to accept who I am and be confident and not always feel like I'm like on the hook. Like I feel like I'm finally let off the hook. It's okay. I didn't know. Now I do. Now I'm gonna do better. So that kind of gave me the clarity for personal.
I think about Self-Healing Masters as a place to practice being the new higher version of yourself. Because that's what's so hard at home is people, you still look the same. And so they kind of keep the same conversation and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm not that anymore. But being in Self-Healing Masters and creating these relationships with other people who see you in that new higher minded version.
Yourself. Like you can like, even if you come in and because like I've come in many times and you're like, what's wrong, Brittany? And I just start crying and just don't know because I don't know where else to put it. Like I can't dump it on my kids. I can't dump it on my mom. I can't dump it on my boyfriend. Like I just felt like I was holding it into myself. And it's like, it was just nice to be able to have that spot to finally just unload and you're not like overwhelmed by my feelings. It's like you held the container, if it was you, I mainly had you, but like whoever was holding the space allowed me to have that, let it move so we can move forward. And it's like no longer like sitting in it and just like, oh, it's going to be okay. And, da, 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 and just sitting in it with you. It was kind of like, I hear you. We're here. Now, where are we going to go now? And it was just like, oh, I can go somewhere else. I can be something else through this, like rather than sitting and loathing in it for, however long it lasts. It was just like, oh, I can come as who I am, but I know I was going to get something resolved at the end of it. I wasn't just going to still feel like crap at the end of the day or feel like helpless. I'm in control again. I'm in control of my emotions and my feelings, and I recognize them and I allow them to be there. But I had that space being held for me where I never knew was possible. It was just always shoved like, shh, you too much, you're crying, you just shut it up. And I didn't have that. It was like, you just didn't know. It's okay.
So you got the self-confidence and the who am I? And then I'm thinking like eSchool was where the brand and the business identity came together, and the how to and the going online, because you weren't doing all that before, right? Like being able to put yourself online. And then the 10-week intensive, would you say, is what brought it like integrated and embodied the rest of it?
For sure, because it was like a lot of like sometimes like loose ends, it felt like, like I had me as Brittany, and then I went through eSchool, so I had me for work. Like I felt like, okay, I was sound here, I was sound there, but I still didn't have like the guidance as far as narrowing it down. Like I was still all over the place. Like I still had all the things rather than like, hey, my brain can only handle one thing at a time. Let's give it one thing, and it's okay. Like there's no urgency to get it all done today. Like if it's going to take a couple months or a couple years, it's kind of expected. Like it's not meant to be happened overnight. So then it was like, okay, so the 10-week allowed me to focus, because every time I would like detour, I'm like, nope, I'm back over here. And then I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna buy a house and redo it. Nope, back over here, I'm a massage therapist, Brittany. Like, and it's like when I did that, and then when I saw the proof in it of, what I was aiming towards, I'm just like, is it really this simple? Is it really?
So that's what's so confusing. It's so
we make
simple.
it
I call
hard.
it simplical. It's simple, practical, and applicable. Like super simple. You apply it. So whatever, it's all the same. You apply it, but it's practical. It's so practical, and the mind wants to confuse everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
It's like
So,
when I pulled it in, and I was like, because like different things, each week that she would come up with, like we'd have to focus on that one thing plus that one way of going about it. And I was just like, oh, like, duh, like, why am I like trying to put like all these things together, piling it in to solve this one problem? It's exhausting. But I made it more simple.
right. How much energy was it using to be in confusion and not knowing?
So exhausting. I mean, I stayed frustrated with the kids. I stayed with headaches, neck tension, and nobody was there to rub my back and neck. So then I was mad because nobody could help me, and then didn't have the money to go get the help for somebody to help me. It was just all piling on. And
remember this, I have to do it all myself. Can you believe that was even in your existence?
For me.
Yeah. And so it was really interesting to watch your journey. You're like the poster child for my business. Coming in, you were like inspired and motivated and disciplined and committed, and you knew you were going to do it. You're like, I don't know when, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm doing it. I'm coming. I promise you. Hold on. I promise. That's what you kept saying, but you were talking to yourself. You were promising yourself that you were going to get out of this, even though you didn't know how. You knew you needed to. There was something really, really rich about your attitude. And I'm going to say this, your willingness to be coached, to set aside what you know in order to know something else, was like A plus. Like you were so hungry for breaking generational cycles and offering your children something that was not in existence before. And that why was so strong. That's what I saw in you. And then loving massage, you loved your work, you loved your clients, but not knowing how to make this a profitable business, that was sustainable, that you could control. And then from there, like I was just watching you grow through the whole entire process. And then when you said, I don't know what this is, but I need this 10-week thing. I know I need this. And for me, it's the thing that brings everything together, like processing the past and presence, and then integrating all that you learned all year long, integrating that into a knowing that was embodied. And you're now the person. You own the knowledge compared to knowing the knowledge. You own it. You are it. You just got super calm. And we're just like, I don't need anything, because the process took you to your own authority. I'm not your authority. I'm not your guru or your any of that. It was, as much as we all want that from someone else, the gift is, how can we show you how to get that from yourself?
And that's so rich, because I was constantly reaching and looking for the next thing to feel not even satisfied, like, because I wasn't like really a substance person. Mine was more attached to just someone to help me, someone for guidance. And of course, they lead you, but then the class is over. And then I'm like, well, what do I do now? So I'd look for the next thing, and then the next thing, and then wherever I was at. And it was just like, I just couldn't sit with myself. Like, I always was searching online or searching somewhere. And this just kind of helped me pull together where it's like, Brittany, the answers are here. Quit going outside, and not just going outside. Like, I still, obviously, I reach out, I get help. I don't got it all, but it allowed me to trust myself that I can make good decisions. I do have things to offer the world. Like, I was always trying to make sure I said the right thing. So I would say a lot of things to make it sound phenomenal. And now it's not even like that. Like no one hears you. Like, you're just going on, and people are just like, "Oh, did she ever shut up?" At least that's how I felt, because I wanted to stop hearing it.
You're trying to hear yourself. So
Mhm.
we do that. We go on and on and on because we're trying to hear it and like find confidence within ourselves. So
Mhm.
that's why. But then once you get it, you no longer need to explain it.
Mhm.
And that's the point that you reached. And
Kind of
self-trust is
proof.
it. It is guided by my own authority. So yes, do I want feedback? Do I want someone else to see when I'm going off path, and to, like, if I'm suffering, that means I'm going somewhere else. I'm looking somewhere else, and bringing that up for coaching, and, like, to regulate
Mhm.
what's happening within the system, within our neurology, to be able to regulate that instead of react, which is
Mhm.
what makes you jump from person to person and thing to thing and business to business and idea to idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful. I mean, that's why I wanted to bring you on and show other massage therapists and healing focused entrepreneurs, whether you are an energy healer or yoga meditation practitioner that's helping other people.
Mhm.
Eventually, we start off with, I say, the wounded healer, where we need to fix all this stuff in ourselves. But then eventually you come to a point where you don't want to be the Band-Aid anymore. You don't want to be the problem solver for your clients. And I was like, would you believe that you can get to a point where your clients just come because they enjoy it? Y'all were like, what? I don't know about that.
I've always told, it's so funny because it's like, I knew that before you even said it, but I didn't know it. So it was like, I would always tell people, I'm like, if we get past this, then you can actually enjoy the massage. And it's like, now, like, finding like a different approach to it, and then having people who are like almost already on their healing path, and now they're coming in. So they're not searching for the band-aid. They're actually just looking for something to internalize and to just feel good, and to just,
Mhm.
so they can fill their cup, so they can go pour to their clients. And it's like, wow, like, how liberating was that, to not feel like I'm having to carry this heavy load for them. They're now out there already doing it and starting it, and I get to help keep them going. It's not like I'm having to make them go or encourage them to go, and then they come again and you're like, "Oh, you still didn't do the thing?" Like, they're doing it. And so it's just been so nice, like, to have that, like, reciprocating in. It's like, I was worried about losing people, because of course that's what we need. Those are our clients, that's our money. But like, now I've just learned that, hey, these are my hours. And this is what I charge. This is what I do. Anything outside of that, it's just not me. And it's kind of like, at first they were like, but then it wasn't like bitter. It was kind of like a bittersweet. It was like, okay, I'm making room for new ones. And oh my gosh, the new ones that have come in has just, like I said, like, they're just throwing money. They're just like, here, like, I only charge this, but they're giving me like 30, $40 tips. I'm like, what is this? Like, this is amazing. Because it's like, I'm not searching for it anymore. I'm not working, like you said, for the dollar per hour
And you're
thing.
so in tune. Your energy is so in tune with their energy because you're not scattered. And so
Right.
they receive so much more value that they are willing, because let's face it, they're not going to get that everywhere.
Mm-mm.
Anyone who is in the massage world knows this. You're not going to get that everywhere. And we are seeking the person who is in tune on the frequency we want to be on. I don't want to be with a massage therapist who's complaining and sick and hurting and not making the money. It feels terrible as the client, and I've experienced that. And I remember when I was on my search of self-healing, I just wanted my massage therapist to be consistent so I can go regularly. That's it. And I mean, I was just hearing the stories. They used to work that day, but not enough people are coming and business is slow. And I was like, I've got to do something about this. We need more massage therapists. And when I was with doTERRA, I was like, I was going to train everyone how to do aroma touch so that I could have someone to do aroma touch on me. So that was another, intention. But now with the signature massage, that's my baby. Like to be able to teach how to integrate those three components in your massage practice, taking from experience, personal and professional experience, and to be able to bring it and cover all those bodies, the energetic body, the physical body, the emotional body, and to be able to regulate the nervous system for the client in a way that giving them a visceral experience they've never felt before. That's why they're so grateful and tipping. What was so can we just talk about your experience? Because you've come to the Grow Your Business for Massage Therapists where we talked about signature massage, but you actually came to the actual training. What would you say to another massage therapist, how that training affected your practice?
I didn't realize I was always there for the client, but I didn't realize being there for the client even more on the emotional level. It's going to be kind of hard to explain. So it's like I was there for that person, but I still in the back of my mind, like while I'm massaging, I'm thinking of all the things. But then to pull all this together because I couldn't understand how to like put it together. I was still separating, like, all right, we're going to do this. All right, then we're going to do this. And so it's still choppy, but now just being in tune with the body and having those options of just one going to the next and just doing what I feel needs to be done. It's so hard to put in words because it's just so flowy that it's like, I don't know, like I'm losing like words on that because
Would you say it's, for me, the experience is it's seamless?
Yes.
It's an effortless, seamless flow that gives an experience to the client as well as the practitioner, that it's this
because I was able to
dance, feels like a dance.
Yes, because it's like I did one yesterday and I did two today, and it was just like when I'm done with them, like I'm calm. Like I can't wait for them to come out, and they're just like zombified. They're just like, I'm like, how are you gonna drive? I'm not sure how you're gonna drive after this. But it was just kind of like, I don't even know sometimes. I'm like, what was this? Like, because it's just so calming that my nervous system is like, this is a thing. Like, this is possible. And so every time like I've explained it, because I keep it very vague and explain to them on a level that just sounds so yummy, they're like, whatever it is, I'm ready. And so they just try it, and they're just like, oh my gosh. So like even for me, like people are like, wait, like it's good for you too. And I'm like, you have no clue. Like after I'm done, I feel the most relaxed and the most like grounded that I've ever felt. Even like I meditate, but like this is like a whole nother level. This is like,
it actually is a form of meditation, by the way.
yeah.
When you're in your essence and you're flowing and dancing with divine energy and connection with another human, with yourself, with your body, you actually are in meditation. And that's why it's so impactful. And it was really interesting to watch, because massage therapists over 5 years really have this mentality of how to do. And it's more physical. But in signature massage, I'll say for the sake of writing this out, for the signature massage, it's how can you tap in, go here, and then begin to ply away. So it's like this pliability of the body. And then that leads to the expression. It's very much like yoga. It's grounding, transition, express. And so bringing that in there, but watching y'all's faces whenever I first did it and going in, and you were like, I think they need a real massage. I'm like, this is
This
a real
is a real
massage.
massage.
This is a real massage. And so now, as being the practitioner and receiving and understanding it better, why would you want someone to do this type of massage on you? Because
Oh
that's
my
where
goodness.
Monique is, by the way. She's like, you got to get over here to Colorado and you need to train the practitioners. So I have someone to go to because she was in Lake Charles and went to Devaney last week. And so she's like, oh yeah, I need more of this. You got to get over here and train some more people.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, you have to ask that question again. We kind of went off to the Monique
I'm
thing,
sorry.
but
Yeah, I went there. So my question was, why would you want this instead of traditional massage? Why would you want to receive a
oh,
signature massage?
like this is all I want now. So, because it allows me, because sometimes it's hard to slow down just because life is life. But like, 'cause I mean, 3 kids, business, everything, you still, it's hard to just stop. And so this allows, like, if I was to go lay on that table, like it allows me to tap into an area that I didn't even know needed to be like not dealt with, but like recognized that like, oh, I didn't even notice or think of that. Like, like even whenever you were sitting there doing it with me, I'm just like, oh, this is kind of an emotional little, oh, I didn't know that was there. Like and it was not painful. It was just kind of like, I'm sorry. Like, it's just like calming and like nurturing. And it was so, I guess my word right now is just nurturing. Like, I always wanted to be a more nurturing parent. And now I feel like I can be a nurturing parent and massage therapist. And I didn't know that nurturing and massage was in the same. Like I knew nurturing as far as being there and helping the client, but as far as holding them there, and it's like I crave for someone to just hold it for me, like doing the movements for me or just being there for me, like say, hey, I support you, I'm here for you and I see you and I hear you. And it's kind of like, oh, do you? And it's like, it's just so yummy that someone would do that for me. And it's like, it just felt good. Like it felt like a good old mama right there, just like being there for her little girl. Like it's okay. And that's something a lot of us, I don't think to the extent always got.
I think it opens the self-compassion. And
Mm,
so when you're able to give that to yourself, then you're available for other people. The
mm.
mirror neurons, they will pick up on it. And that's what what I craved, like for myself. It's kind of like whenever I was doing aromatouch, I was like, I've got to get a bunch of people trained in this so that we always have someone to go to. So
Yeah.
for those who are listening, who are interested, we've got like lots of things, especially for massage therapists and healing focused entrepreneurs. I wanted to bring Brittany on mostly to share her experience of what's possible for you. If you're a massage therapist and you're listening and you're kind of like low energy, like your days are not filled up, you're not sure if you can stay, you might have to get a part-time job, you're not making enough money. I want you to know that there's an option and you can start as simple as just coming into the free More Than Mindset group, maybe coming to one live event or just starting with something small. You don't have to go all the way, but like the signature massage is very inexpensive and it's an intensive. I mean, it is like an all day body work and exchange. And it made such a huge shift just with you girls who were here, like to watch, that change in your body. And then now to see you out there excited about promoting it. And it's so inspiring.
It's definitely powerful. Like it's impacted me. And so it's like I'm now able to get out there, but not with the urgency, not with the expectations of trying to reach millions of people. It's just simply like, y'all, this is amazing. Like sometimes my posts are just simple, like, this is probably like the best thing since ever. Like, I mean, you'll forget you have dishes, you're gonna forget all those things. It's just yummy. You should try it. And they're like, okay, let's try
So
it.
good. So Brittany is in, like I said earlier, in Jennings, Louisiana. If you guys want to look her up, we'll put her contact below here. And also we have a Mind Body Business Conference coming up in October, next year in October. And I'm sure Brittany is going to be one of the practitioners there. So it's a great time for you to come to the event and get a taste of everything we're doing in the mind body world, but also get hands on your body. There is going to be a healing room that's going to bring in all of these modalities. You get to stay fully dressed. That was another thing, another big game changer. Is different options that you can do as a massage therapist. That's not the traditional, that monotonous over and over kind of, like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's so different.
It
Do you
is.
have anything that I did not ask you or that you would want to share to inspire? We can't motivate, but we can inspire other massage therapists who are like maybe struggling or like after this whole COVID thing, they just don't know if they want to continue. I want to encourage more massage therapists to stay in the game.
Yeah, I think mostly I was getting to the point where physically I was drained. Physically, my wrists were hurting, my neck and back. Standing up to do those massages were I was starting to dread them, because it was just like another one and another one, and it just now feels like I get excited to be there because I'm not hurting. Like I don't feel like I'm putting as much stress because there's no more stress on the inside, like internally. So it's not showing outwardly anymore. So I'm able to go in and not feel the neck and shoulders and the hands and the, all the things that came with, as a massage therapist, you're going to wear out. Your body is not going to last. And that can be subsided. That can be something that's just letting us know that, hey, we're trying too hard in a direction that's not meant for us. But there's so many other ways and modalities that we can offer to our clients and still get amazing results and still make an impact without killing yourself and just doing it and getting through it. There's another layer of it, and it just feels good to have that option for sure.
Yeah. And for those of you who like when you're trying to figure out the money and how do you make $5,000 to $6,000 a month, it's not by working more.
Mm-mm.
It's working less. And so if you've imagined making $135 to $150 a massage and you're not sure how that happens, we can show you how. It's a completely different mentality and service than what you've been doing. And Brittany, do you think there's any way you could have imagined without going through this process that was possible? Because you're doing it and you're living it now.
Yeah.
But when you first heard, did you have some doubts like, I don't know about
Oh
that?
yeah. Oh yeah. Cause I mean, I've been through this for a little while now, and it took until this last 10-week intensive to really believe it for myself. But no, I honestly didn't think. I thought I was gonna have to work way more, way more, and I don't, and it feels good.
Nice. And it's all about breaking generational cycles. Parents want to be there with their kids. They don't
Yeah.
want to just like dump them and leave them in the hands of the school system or the government or, and at the same time be able to make a living that is sustainable. It's a really
Yeah.
big deal, and for you with the relationships, if you went on your own, you went back, there was a lot of changes, and this is life right now. This is the post-COVID world. We're
Mhm.
all adapting to it. So thank you for coming on. We'll have your contact information and people can reach out to you on social media or connect with you. And when we do events, guys, would love for you to come and participate and be around more people like Brittany who are reaching their potential. How old are you?
30 years.
30.
years.
Like, God, what I would have done to get this at 30.
Yeah.
Seriously. I was like falling apart with 5 kids at home, trying to figure out how to run 2 businesses,
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Thank you all for tuning in, joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of More Than Mindset.